Alright, so it looks like we are now live. Let's go ahead and let's get right over to it, shall we? Now, it has been quite a while since I've played Genshin, if I'm being completely honest. I am very burned out of Genshin at the moment. I have been enjoying quite a bit of Master Duel, as a couple of you might know from some of the streams that we have been doing. I am probably going to be working on a couple of videos when it comes to Master Duel in the future. The tier list that I had prepared for Genshin is probably going to be moved to 2.5 once we get Yae Miko into the mix. So do not worry, that has not been cancelled as of yet. It is still in the works, it's just going to be moved over to 2.5. Now, what's not going to be moved over to 2.5 though is going to be the Lantern Rite event, which I have been woefully behind on, as I have not done anything on. We are going to fix that today, because I do want to try to get, at the bare minimum, I want to try to get the skin for Ningguang. Ningguang has been one of the characters that I've been using for quite a while now. It is probably one of my strongest 4-star characters, or just characters in general, so I would really like to have the Ningguang skin unlocked. With that out of the way, we're pretty much just going to be starting with the entirety of the event. I have not done anything regarding this Lantern Rite. So, I am not sure what to expect. We're just going to be choosing one of the things, and we're going to be going through it. Let's see. It seems like this one is going to be the first one, so let's just go ahead. We'll run through the story, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. It has been quite an interesting time when it comes to Genshin, that's for sure. The game has been out for pretty much over a year now, and it is definitely starting to get to that point where people are getting very burnt out. The interesting part here is I don't think it's necessarily because of the content. When it comes to the content, I know that a lot of people still have a lot of things to do. Myself included, for example, I have not even explored a great portion of Inazuma, and I still have quite a lot of the quests and hangout events to do. I've just not been feeling playing Genshin. And I imagine that's probably a feeling that has scattered through a lot of the community. I can definitely tell that a lot of people are putting less videos out for Genshin. A lot of people are playing Genshin a lot less. And I imagine that's just because we're waiting for something new to happen. I don't think this means that Genshin is dying or anything of the sort. It just means that people want to play other things while they wait for more engaging content they want to take a look into. I imagine that once the new region comes out, we're going to be seeing a significantly bigger influx of people. Oh, interesting. I do gotta say, when it comes to a lot of the animation, a lot of the story, the people that are working on this, they never fail to amaze me. A lot of the characters are incredibly well done, especially in the voice acting department. I do gotta say, they hired some incredibly talented people for this one. Alright, so they're going to be doing a bit of a fireworks show. That seems nice. I do know that this version of Lantern Rite is significantly bigger than the previous one. And the addition of a lot of the playable characters as NPCs definitely makes it seem significantly more alive than the previous Lantern Rite. I know that a lot of their strength has always been characterization, so it was kind of disappointing when a lot of the strong characterization was being used for random NPCs rather than the playable characters that we interact with. Now they've changed to this more a live setting, I think it really does add a lot to the experience. After all, in a lot of ways, Genshin is kind of like a combination of multiple genres of games, and being able to interact with the characters is definitely something that it has definitely been lacking. I'm quite enjoying a lot of these new events, if I'm being honest.
しかし国政様、そうすると予算が。
予算というのは何かをうまくやるための、もし今の予算では適切に処理できないと思うのなら、我々の目的は解答祭の。
あ、かしこまり。
ええ、それ。
Safety first. That is definitely not my motto. Oh, Ningguang also came with us. That's pretty nice.
花火の設置場所の見直し。正直、それらの仕事は部下に任せても構わん。些細なことよ。講義。悪いけど、新しい私は城内に行って旅人。君は大切な講義。
はい、すべて承知しました。
Hey, Rura, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Just a bit of a couple of rough weeks, but still here, still working on stuff. There's quite a lot of things in the works, mainly focusing a lot on Master Duel. I had a plan of playing the new Pokemon game, Legend of Arceus, but I do believe that plan is probably not going to happen. Sometime in the future, though, I might do that. Another thing that I'm definitely working on, and I definitely want to do at some point, is I actually want to stream Pokemon Insurgents. I have been wanting to stream that game for the longest time, and I definitely want to try it again. So I'm gonna find time to do that at some point or another. For now, though, I think I'm probably gonna be focusing quite a lot on Master Duel, at least until the next Genshin update comes around. Once Mika comes out, I'm probably gonna be releasing the tier list that I've been working on. It's unlikely to change, if I'm being completely honest. 2.5 does not seem to be that massive when it comes to game-changing items or game-changing mechanics. So we'll have to wait and see. What gives people feel of power being the first one on the stream? Definitely. I expect that not a lot of people are going to come. This is significantly later than a lot of my usual streams are. So I imagine that a lot of people are not going to be able to come around here. It's understandable. It's fairly late for the usual people that are around. Oh, you like Pokemon games? Nice. I'm a big fan of Pokemon. That's for sure. If you go looking deep enough, you'll find a lot of my very early, very poorly made Pokemon videos. But still fun. It's still fun to take a look at it. The games are always entertaining. They're entertaining in their own fashion. A lot of the newer ones don't really grab that much of my attention, so I've been staying away from them. I think Sun and Moon has been like the only one that I've enjoyed as of late. Everything after that felt kind of samey, despite there not being that much. I was really into competitive Pokemon for a while, and I feel like that competitive side has kind of died out, which is a big shame. It used to be really fun. I'm waiting to see if there's anything else that's going to come around from it, but we'll just have to wait and see. Another one that I've been taking a look into has been Temtem. While Temtem has not gotten a lot of updates as of late, even when it came out, it was definitely a big improvement in Pokemon. The only thing that I think is holding that particular game down is probably the variety of monsters they have. Otherwise, I think their battle system is just plain better than Pokemon. But we'll have to wait and see. The game is not fully released yet, so they still have a lot of time to do a couple stuff when it comes to that. When the game fully releases, I do actually plan on playing Temtem on stream at some point. There's a lot of plans for the future. Not enough time. Not enough resources. We'll leave it. We'll work on it, though. Alright. Alrighty then, so we're gonna be talking to Shangli. The objective has changed now. Give Kaching a break. I really like these dumb, simple stories, especially in the world of Genshin that's so over the top. A lot of you might know this, but I actually do play D&D in my free time, and some of the favorite side quests that you can do in D&D are usually the dumbest things. This definitely fits into that category of trying to make it so that somebody gets a free break, and this is usually one of the ones that entertains players the most. So, seeing something this similar in Genshin, I'm quite happy about it. You're gonna pull for Kazuha? Perfect. Kazuha's really good. The one thing that I always tell people when it comes to Kazuha is to keep in mind the cost. I think, if I remember correctly, for your particular team, Kazuha is probably going to be the better option. But just keep in mind, you're going to need a lot of EM, you're going to need the Venereer set, and you're going to you need to make sure the teammates are in the correct position. That's where Kazuha's strengths lie. As long as you keep that in mind, Kazuha can be incredibly powerful. Definitely one of the favorite characters that has been released as of late. Well, I guess long time now, considering he's actually fairly old at this point, 1.6. So yeah, definitely try to go for him. Definitely try to go for him. Hey, Nancy! Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you too. We're mostly just going to be doing quite a bit of the Lantern Rite event. I have not done anything whatsoever. So I have a lot of things to catch up on. I do gotta say, quite a big improvement from the previous Lantern Rite. I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more already. Look at Gooba. Yeah, the ability of Kazuo to group enemies is incredibly strong. That is definitely one of the biggest factors that brings a lot of Kazuo to his place. I think the other factor that's often overlooked is actually the stunning part, because even against bigger enemies, the Kazuo pull still knocks them out for a little bit, so it can interrupt a lot of annoying skills that are usually very difficult to deal with, especially with a lot of the Fatui and some of the big guys like the Geo Bishops, the regular Geo Bishops. It's something that people don't often notice, but it might actually be the strongest part of the kit. It's one of the reasons why I personally like Sucrose quite a bit. She also has that ability, and you really do feel the difference at times. You can get through it really easily. Might be a bad thing for those who want to play Genshin longer, but makes it easier for those who have a little time. I think that's probably for the better, if I'm being honest. The way that Genshin is designed, it's really designed to be enjoyed in small bits of time. It's kind of like at the basis of the entire design of the game. It's not really a game that you can play for multiple hours at a time, which is probably for the better considering the market audience they're going for. I do gotta agree that I do wish there was something that was more involved when it comes to Genshin. Something that was a bit more permanent, other than Abyss. Abyss really does feel quite lacking as an endgame mechanic, and not really the most entertaining one. I will say that much. It is unfortunate, though, that a lot of these quests are not more permanent things, because a lot of new players are definitely going to miss this. And it's kind of a shame, because I do feel like this is probably some of the strongest that Genshin has been. A lot of the new events have been incredibly well. Have gone incredibly well, not only in the writing department, but also in characterization. They go deep into a lot of the characters, the simple animations that they add to a lot of the stuff, a lot of the writing for the scripts, voice acting, everything in these very short events has been a really good masterpiece on how to engage characters. And it's kind of a shame that a lot of people are not really gonna watch it. Genshin right now feels truly like an anime, and I wouldn't be too surprised if they make it one in the future. Oh yeah, you have Klee, don't you? That's really, really useful. Klee and Kazuha, they make a really good combo. This is gonna end horribly.
驚かせるのはここまで。あなたたちは雑談でもしてて。私はチャーリンと一緒に天使のところへお茶を飲みに。ああ、ゆっくりしてくるといい。
I always enjoy Hu Tao's character when it comes to her business, just because of the joke that it entails. A lot of the modern funeral parlors actually follow the business model that Hu Tao presents. They just go through it in a different fashion. So seeing that in Genshin, where we are seeing the exact same business model that currently works in a lot of different places, just interpreted and just put in a different perspective, it's actually really funny to me.
ユーヘンと俺は親しい間柄というわけではない。直接ではなく、彼女の心を動かすことのできる物語があれば、日常生活などの些細なことでも共感を得ることはできる。旅人はやはり鋭いな。物語の素材を探してくるといい。お前が必要だというなら、俺からも考えがまとまったら、その物語をユーヘンはお前と有効な関係。あ、わかったぞ。
ここにいたのね。
Alright, this is about to be a pretty fun one.
この前の些
細なことを手伝ったまでだ。
どうしたの？もしかして急に来たから君と勝利さんの話。国政は私がここに来たのは1000人の方々を紹介してほしい。
Oh, how nice.
もう知り合いなんだから。会ったのはあの一度きりよ。私のことを覚えて、だから君たちに紹介してもらうのが最も礼儀正しい方法。直接贈り物を届けるだなんて。じゃあお願いね。おめでたい日なのに私の用事に付き合わせてしまって本当に悪いわね。花火に遅れないためにも手早くいいわよ。用事を済ませ。勝利さんも今年の花火大会。ああ。それじゃあ私は先に行くわね。
Alright. Pretty nice story beat so far. It's actually been kind of enjoyable. It really does show quite a bit of the characters in here. The way that she talks, the way that a lot of the animations go around, they really do show that she cares a lot about the people around her. And she's afraid to ask for help because she doesn't want to be a bother to them. Oh my god. Adorable.
そう言ってもらえて先ほど言ったことは二人とも心に銘じておいてくれ。
Alright, so what do we have here? Flame Blues Production Challenge. Alright. Okay, so we got a couple of firework crafting. Appears to be only two. on this one. Where are they? Have I not unlocked them yet, or how do I see where they are? Normally they would show up on the map. That's Wondrous Shadows. That's the other event. Do I have to finish the story? Is it a gadget? I see. Alright. Alright. I got it. I got it. I think I got it. I think I have a vague idea of how this is gonna work. How do we get more endurance? Oh, we just don't get endurance. Okay, I see. Gotcha, gotcha. I figured out how this works. So it's more like a... It's more a resource management game. Gotcha. That definitely took a while to understand. So exactly, how far do we have to go in order to get all the rewards? So it looks like 2,700 is the maximum. We don't have to do that one. We won't have to redo that one, thankfully. Okay. I think I figured how this one works. Let's go ahead and try the next one. So since this one is more resource management and we have different techniques, we should probably try to use a lot of the big ones immediately just to get these two out of the way. And then we'll try to increase these slightly. And there we go. That should be enough. There we go. That was entertaining. A bit of a mental challenge more than anything. Not a bad event. I don't think a lot of people are gonna enjoy it. I enjoyed it, but it's whatever. So it does look like there's gonna be a lot of parts. We should probably finish all of it before we go into the actual events. Let's just go ahead and do all the quests first, and then we'll do the minigames. Oh, so we have to wait for the next day. Gotcha. Please tell me there's a teleportation. Yes, thank you. That would have been very annoying had there not been that. Hey, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if a lot of people are going to enjoy the nitpickiness of it. It's a resource simulator, which is, I mean, more or less what Genshin is.
さっき手作りそうだ講義の作った花火の筒もいくつかあるから渡したらええでは絶運の
Oh, that's fine. The YouTube thing is weird. It always changes depending on how many people are watching. It's actually really bad at determining singular individuals. So it's probably just a YouTube bug in all honesty. Did my Genshin just crash? Okay, no, it just froze for a second. That was scary. Yeah, that's usually how YouTube works. It's a system that's used to detecting multiple individuals. So there's always like a variance to it. Since it's often based around a range of people, it's really bad at detecting individuals. It's usually more like in the tens or hundreds where that's where it's more useful. For singular people, it's whatever.
せっかくの祭りなんじゃし。
ばあやこ
もうか。
それを言ったらおしまいだ
I gotta say, I do love Yanfei's character. She's probably one of my favorite characters in Genshin as of right now. I'm actually thinking that I might, for the free character that we're gonna get, I might pick Yanfei. I know she's not that good. I will say that right now. Yanfei's probably not the greatest character in Genshin, and I have a feeling that her scaling into the future of Genshin is probably just gonna be worse than a lot of other characters. I just like her. I want to try to get her to C6 at some point.
年越し用品や軽くて運びやすいものについては全て持ってきましたが絹はまだ届いていません
Should I raise Bennett and Mona for a Kazuha team? Bennett, I would probably say yes. Mona, that's gonna depend a lot more on the situation. Mona works really well with Kazuha because she's able to boost a lot of the power of pretty much an entire team. And she works really well in that scenario. Even the energy generation is not really that big of an issue because you can invest very heavily into energy recharge without having to worry about it. So she ends up being a really good support unit. It depends a lot on what type of enemies you're fighting, though. I would definitely race Bennett, especially if you have Klee on the team. Bennett is definitely one of those characters that's just very, very flexible. Mona also fits really well into that team category, but there's also probably other characters you can use that would bring the same effect. At the end of the day, you're probably going to be on Klee most of the time. I would personally prefer to have a little bit more of a safety net when I'm playing Klee. If you're really adept at dodging and doing a lot of the cancels, all of that things that make Klee as good as she can be, you can probably get away with Mona. For my liking, if I were to build a team, I would probably go with Zhongli, but Mona would definitely bring the most damage. Absolutely. One of the good things about Klee in particular is that she's one of the few ways that you can vaporize Mona's burst, and that can matter a lot. Because with Vaporize involved, Mona's burst is one of the hardest hitting in the game. It's just incredibly difficult to accomplish. But Klee is one of the few characters that can do it. It takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of practice. Too much for me to recommend for a lot of people, but if you're willing to put the effort into it, it is a devastating combo.
些細なものではございますがおおとてもいいものだね
Yeah, Yanfei is just one of my favorite characters design-wise. I think she fits all the correct categories for me, and her gameplay is also pretty interesting. One of the more sniper-focused in the game. I know that her top-end potential is not the highest in the game, but that doesn't mean that she's bad. She actually has a fairly decent matchup against a lot of other DPSs. It's just it takes a little bit longer because of the management that you have to do. A lot of that does come from her burst, and the burst can be very difficult to enable sometimes due to the high energy cost as well as all the other factors that you have to take into account. So she ends up being a lot harder to play for something that you can get with other characters, which is why she's often not used as much. She's a really good free-to-play option going for starting out because she works really well with a lot of the top characters as well when it comes to support wall. So she makes a really good use of a lot of the supports, and her damage by itself is already pretty impressive, even if you're not going for the Vaporize route. It's only really in the top end where she starts to fall off, so I don't think that investing that heavily into Yanfei will be a mistake for me, especially just because of how fun she is. So yeah, there we go. You'd like the C4? That's actually the one that I would get if I do grab Yanfei on this one. So I'm thinking about it very heavily. I have some Bolite sets, some Bolite set pieces that are really good. I would probably need to get one more if I really want to take advantage of it. I don't know though. I also have a Shiminawa set that's something that I've been looking into. Shiminawa's Yanfei is incredibly strong, but she is very, very difficult to enable properly. Energy recharge is a massive issue already, and adding even more to that makes it even harder. Right now, my biggest problem with my Yanfei is that I don't have enough crit rate. I need more artifacts for the crit rate, which is one of the reasons why I don't use her as much.
街が大好きで何かとすぐま
あや、私は何も暇つぶしに行っているわけじゃない。
Hey, Komi, how are you doing?
だったらチコ魚焼きのや
あれは彼らのために物価を計算していたんだ。物価の計算はああ、この業界では一般的に休日なんてないんだ。
それって疲れるだろ
明確に規定された休日はないが、そうしないと疲れた顔で客に会うことになり、それにこういった言葉もある。なんだっけ？
工事の監督で何度か言ったけど、それが終わってからは仕事が終わってからちゃんと回ってみようと思ってたけど、やるべきことが
Yep, that definitely does sound like a Cheng. That one hits a bit too close to home if I'm being honest. Do you do account reviews? I do account reviews. I've been really bad with them as of late, but I do them. I have one that's planned. That I'm probably going to continue doing them once 2.5 comes out. Right now, I do want to kind of focus a little bit more on Master Duel. But if you want to do an account review, I can absolutely do that. That's not that big of a problem. It'll probably just take me a while though. I do have priorities in other games at the moment that I'm trying to get into. Once 2.5 comes around though, I'll probably put a little bit more effort into Genshin. Right now, I really do want to do Master Duel though. But yeah, account reviews is definitely something that goes around in this channel from time to time. We've had a couple of people here show off their accounts and just kind of figure out what would be a good thing to do in the future, what would be a good investment that they already have, what are some of the teams that they can already do, some particular combos that they can enable, or just even weaponry that could be better. Why am I walking there? Let me teleport. Just a quick look at builds, that's it. Yeah, that'll be fine. I think that's something that we could probably do at some point. Rating of builds, that could also work. More often than not, I kind of do more in-depth account reviews. Just to things like improve and stuff like that. If you want just like a rating, that's pretty simple. I can probably just do that just from you telling me what's your current team.
祭りが近いというのになぜわらわのところへ
いえ、街道祭が近いからこそ休みを取ってただ昨月畜養神君と
あやつらは
Are they fighting?
旅人じゃないか
神君、ご無沙汰しております。まさか国生さんがいらっしゃるなんて。
幽変どう してここに。そうかしこまりな。
I do gotta say, I love Cloud Retainer. She's definitely my favorite Adepti, just because of how sassy she is.
もうすぐ仮説を迎えるので七星を代表して
リーユへの七星は多忙を極める。そんな中、面白そう。
これは総務士が改良した新しい花火です。竜宮釈風神君。この仙人は人間があまりにも若いからなのでしょうね。大丈夫。今日の私は頑張って準備してきたんだもの。
Yes, 2.5 will have Yae, Raiden, and Kokomi. I'm going all in for Kokomi. As much as I would like to have my C2 Raiden, I don't need more damage. That is just something that I do not need. When it comes to the teams that I'm trying to build teams that are more flexible. Flexibility is probably going to be one of the biggest strengths when it comes to Genshin, just because of how quickly the meta can change depending on what you're doing, and depending on the abyss that's going on. Having more damage on Raiden is not gonna increase my possibilities of beating Abyss when Raiden is not good. However, having a character like Kokomi who is so flexible in what she does will. There is likely never going to be a point in time where Kokomi is not going to be available in one way or another, and that flexibility is definitely a strength that I'm looking towards. The ability to have as much healing as Kokomi does, the ability to enable freeze compositions in the way that she can, as well as the ability to have decent damage and utility on top of that. She is just an exceptional character, especially because you only need a single one. Kokomi at C0 is just as effective as Kokomi at C6. And the utility that you can get from Kokomi is just insane. Giving her, if you need more damage, you can give her the Tales of Dragon Slayer. If you need more energy, which is often a problem that I have in my freeze teams, you can give her the Prototype Amber, one of the few characters that can actually use this insane weapon. I think Kokomi is definitely the right choice for me. If I get lucky, I will roll on the Raiden banner. I have pretty much given up on Yaya at this point. I do like her design, I do think she's going to be strong, but I think that's kind of it. I think she's going to end up being one of those characters that has a really big burst that can do an insane amount of damage, very similar to Eula. And I'm not a big fan of those, if I'm being honest. You've already heard about me talking about Eula. I don't think the amount of investment is worth it. I feel like Yaya is going to be a bit different in that regard, where she's definitely going to be a lot less expensive than Eula. It's just not something that I particularly need at this point in time. Big damage numbers in a single hit are not something that I, as a free-to-play player, can A, enable, B, require, or C, care too much for. If I get lucky, I have a guaranteed pity right now. And I'm pretty sure that my pity counter is like 30-something. Because I was trying to get Shenhei. More for personal reasons than anything else. I did not get her, so the pity counter is there. I can probably guarantee Kokomi. I don't think I can guarantee a C2 for Raiden. Which is unfortunate. I really did want to get the C2 for Raiden. But as I mentioned, it's not a necessity. It's just something nice to have. Sure. I don't actually mind doing a bit of co-op. I am kind of disappointed in the way that Genshin manages co-op, mainly because it's so limited. I would like to be able to do quests with people. I would like to be able to do a bit more than just the dailies, for example, because the dailies don't really take that long, and even the weekly bosses can be finished incredibly quickly. I do hope that in the future Genshin works a bit more on the co-op. If it were up to me, it would probably be like one of my top priorities, but they seem to be putting story over that, which makes sense in all honesty. They can definitely get a lot more out of the story that they can get around expanding co-op, but I would like to see it sometime in the future. I don't mind doing a bit of co-op with it once we're done with all this, although I'm not entirely sure if we're gonna have time, if I'm being honest. I haven't done my dailies either, and my time for this stream is kinda limited. We'll see. We'll see depending on how long it takes. I want to try to finish as much of the event as possible, and I would like to try to do a bit. So we'll see how much time we have left.
神格こやつはカウンだ。
こんにちは。
Wait, these two have never met?
今は玉境内に勤めております。承知した。口にできるものを城内から持ってきた。
そんな私はあえてお菓子を
おお、あの二人の分も用意したのか。
ああ
まさか城内に移ってたった数日。皆の者、今後ともリーユエ港に残る者として互いに
あわかりました。ここは私が想像してた以上に
高魔体制を探しておるのか。
そっか。多分絶運の間にはいないだろうな。やっぱり
つまりこの祭りの日にわらわだけが絶運の間に残っておった。カウンが来ていなかったら今頃仕掛けの術についても
お邪魔してしまい申し訳ございません。
急によそよそしくするでない。
I love Cloud Retainer. I just gotta say it. Her way of speaking is really nice.
お前は小さい頃からわらわが仕掛けを
This is my favorite part.
部屋で走り回るのが好きだった。それにわらわの作ったあれで遊ぶ。
まずい。また始まった。
龍神君。私まだ用事がありましたのでお先に失礼します。
ん？どうしたんだ急に。幽変もここにいるのだし。
いえ大丈夫。
そう変わらぬだろう。
ええ私と行幸は役割が違うんです。
国生さんがはい。
Forgot you. She's getting bullied by her family.
ほんだがまあ理解ができぬわけではない。秘書というのは難しい。それはとても疲れることだ。カウンはとても勤勉で仕事をし始めると寝食も忘れてしまう。
はい、必ずや。私たちも兵
リーユエコをお前たちに任せた。
千人の皆様方の信頼に応え。
それとこれらの歌詞、これはここに置いておくといい。後で神格をわらわに同行す。花火の構造は実に巧妙だな。
ああ、面白いことなら数多く経験した。
Oh yeah, sure. We can definitely try to do something off stream. That's not that big of a deal. The big problem though is I usually don't have time off stream either. It depends a lot on what we're doing. There will be some times where I might be able to do it, but most of my time is going to be going into trying to get the channel running. If I'm being honest, I want to focus a lot on the channel as of late. I've been working on quite a few things that I want to improve massively on, and this is a project that I've been on for quite a while. A lot of the things that I've been putting as of late have more than they've been more than anything just tests of things that I want to work on when it comes to quality and stuff like that. I've been learning quite a bit on the editing front for a lot of the animations. I think some of the videos that I did regarding a couple of the reruns that we had in 2.3 kind of show that a little bit. I've been messing with a couple of shorts as well. I've been messing with a lot of different things just to kind of improve the quality of the channel. It has definitely put a big workload on me. But it's showing fruits. It's getting there. It's getting there, slowly but surely. The biggest problem so far has definitely been consistency. I need to make sure that I can get videos out more quickly than I have been doing so far. That is definitely the biggest issue right now. Research takes me a very long time. Scripting takes me a very long time. I have to get better at that. And recording is a nightmare. But I'm getting better at it. And I do want to improve on that front. Yeah, I thought that Cloud Retainer was like Shenhei's master, and she also raised Ganyu, but they've never met. And I guess it makes sense. Shenhei is very young in Cloud Retainer's eyes. And when Shenhei was being raised by Cloud Retainer, Ganyu was already working as the secretary. It's quite likely that they never met because of that. It wasn't until very recently that Ganyu started going back to the mountains. Like, I'm pretty sure that that happened during her story quest. So it does make a bit of sense. It's just kind of weird to think about it. I'm not giving up on the channel, that's for sure. I know that the channel has a really good potential of going up. I know that the community has a really good potential of continuing going up. I just gotta make my part as well. And when it comes to that, I want to improve the quality as much as I can. That's probably also a mistake on my part, if I'm being honest. Because high quality is not conducive to good YouTube, but I want to do it. I want to make it as best as possible. As useful as possible. So I'll keep on trying that way. And on that regard, a lot of that is going to show on the Master Duel videos. The quality for the tier list that I've been working on, I hope is going to be something that you can definitely tell. A lot of research has gone into it. A lot of research has gone into it. Same thing for Master Duel. One of the reasons why it's taking me so long is because I'm trying to explain a lot of the differences between Duel Links, Master Duel, as well as a lot of the differences between OCG, TCG, and the Master Duel tier list, or the Master Duel format. So a lot of research has gone into it. I've had to pretty much study the entirety of Duel Links as well as its history. I've had to study the entirety of the OCG as well as its history, and the same thing for the TCG. So a lot of prerequisite reading and a lot of understanding of different decks, understanding of different metas, and the impact of different cards. I think I'm finally at a point where I can explain it properly without messing up too much. So expect to see a video regarding those particular details sometime in the future. Thank you, Ruro. That means a lot.
自分の作った料理をそんなのは本末転それでは皆の者雑談はここまで
料理人が自分の料理を食べない。流音釈風神君は仕掛けと料理に対して深い。それこそ仙人の英知というものよ。それに属性に入らず属性のものよりも人情がある。旅人パイモン。次は傍女。
Alright, let's go meet Xiao. The one thing that does seem a bit weird about the fact that these two have never met is that the Cloud Retainer has never mentioned her at all. But then again, this is Cloud Retainer. And every time that she sees Ganyu, we see how she reacts, and Ganyu tries to avoid subjects entirely. So it doesn't seem that unbelievable. Chi-Chi, where's Chi-Chi? Up here. I wonder when we're gonna get Baishu as a character.
薬草を集めているんですよ。
I imagine he's probably going to be one of the first Dendro that we get.
祭りの時期になると不袋にある胃腸薬が
Just a matter of when, really.
もうすぐ解凍祭ですのでここまで足を伸ばし薬草を多めに採取していました。しかしまさか
公務で少しね。
なるほど。もうすぐ祭り当日なのにまだ
ご丁寧にありがとう。
国生、旅人、忙しい、みんな一緒に。
ええ、ありがとうナナ。お二人では旅人行きましょう。
It definitely is nice to be able to see a lot of the characters interacting together. Makes the world feel a lot more alive. Less of a sandbox and more of an actual living thing. Even though we know all of it is more than anything an illusion, it's a pretty good illusion.
ことについて尋ねに来ただけよ。
翔様の行動についてはこちらでもあまり把握しておりません。
They never inquire whether Xiao is here or not. They just let him be. Pretty on character, if I have to say.
いないわね。もしかして時間が悪かったのかしら。
またどこかで叩く。
お前たち何用だ。
お前どこか。
お久しぶりです。私は国生。
牛糞国政。オセル討伐の際にあったな。
オイラたち、お前に解凍祭の贈り物を届けに来たんだ。
このような贅沢な品、我には妖魔退治は我らが責務。没傷は人には毒だ。たとえ凡人をはるかに超える身体。
おい待てよ。もうすぐ解凍祭。
騒がしい場所は我のこの。それに祭りの期間中は妖魔のお前たちも娯楽に興じるならいい。
いいなこのショーは相変わらずだな。
ええ、そうね。これで千人への。
That's surprising. That was a lot more words than what I expected from Xiao. He must have really liked the gifts.
どうすれば。あれ国生様。
講義？どう？
国生様、以前国生様に言われた通り、それで新たに人員もですが、その責任者の報告にすぐ
Oh no!
報告しました。しかし解凍祭はどこも人手が、花火の材料はもうほとんど残っておらず、まさかその道中で
総務士の取り決めに従って、それに加え日常の事務も。けどあれらの正体は人数が
じゃあ竜音釈風神君。
いいえ、それはあまりにも短絡的だわ。
オイラたちも。
二人ともありがとう。講義はリーユエコへ戻り。旅人、君は
Alright. Let's go ahead and continue with the story, shall we? Oh, damn it. Apologies, I've had a bit of a cough for a bit, and I thought it went away. Apparently not.
あんな素晴らしい花火がどうして。
こんにちは、弱心おばあちゃん。
国政様。
そうかしこまらない。
はあ、先日この村へ花火がただ花火を運んだしか。花火は龍神、それから一晩が経ち、気がつくと花火は丸ごと消えておった。今は洗顔軍の警備。
状況は理解しました。旅人。
Problem, and the stream went down for a second, but it looks like we're back on. Alright, yeah, it looks like it's back on running. Wait, do you not have a UID? Maybe you play with a PSN account. I'm actually playing on PC, it's just that I hide my UID. Mainly because I don't like how it looks on videos. So I have it hidden normally. But if you want it, I can just send it to you through the Discord. That's not that big of a problem.
花火が盗まれた場所だな。
犯人はきっと警察層は住民が年寄りと子供ばかりで本当に卑劣極まり。まずは近くで手がかりをさ。これは
So one of the things, they just left the fireworks in the middle of nowhere, and they expected nothing bad to happen.
足跡がまだ続いているわ。追いましょう。足跡がまだ続いているわ。追いましょう。
Oh, is that Chongnyeon?
お助けを。誤解です。
誤解？強いて言うなら
ご慈悲を。本当に誤解なんです。どんな
Chongnyeon and Xingqiu. Looks like they solved the problem for us.
もういい。皆の者、こいつをもっと
かしこまりました。
妖魔の仕業かと思ったが、まさかまた宝刀団だったと。
ゆくあき、ちょーん。なんでここにいるんだ。
やあみんな。
私から先に
ああ、説明しよう。家のしきたりで、これ
でも、
長雲を僕の家に客として来て、
そうだったのか。
どうやら二人とも孤児をし、古の時代。リーユエには妖魔がリーユエ公が帝君の守護を受けていたため、城内へはそれを退散させるため、人々は爆竹を作った。
That's an interesting way of putting it.
ちょうど貨物を運ぶ必要もあったし、行く秋が古書の中で妖魔に。
So not only do they have a historical precedent, they also have a spiritual precedent. That's a nice way of putting it.
調べてみると、やはり幸い、そのだが、この
私が言ったことはすべて本。それにヒュン商会の会長だ。だからほら。
I do happen to have a dog. It's actually my sister's dog. She just had puppies. So now, anytime that anything that even remotely appears to be alive comes near her, she barks without dismay at it.
ゆくあき坊ちゃま、この族を総務市まで連れて。
正義の執行は僕の責務だ。皆の者、この族を。
かしこまりました。我々にお任せください。
待って。使用人の方々、この族は警察層の窃盗事件と関係。
幽閉の指示は
安心してください。
かねてよりゆくあき坊ちゃま、
大したことではない。みんな一つ
一体だけ。
おや、超先ほどあたりを調べたときと、それに先ほどあの者らを僕が思うに、
どうやら
それで年寄りや子供に人手の件はどうか心配しないでくれ。ああ、僕たちに任せてくれ。
No.
二人と
Well,
も
that solves that.
あと少しで宝刀団を一網だ。
北西。
She's very cute, yes. She's adorable in her own ways. I probably won't post pictures, unfortunately, though.
彼らに
ゆくあきの人だ。
でも花火、私は周りを見てくる。ここまでずっと君に頼。
北西。一人でって一人で調査するより安全だと。
その言い分も、警察層に運んだ花火は私の考え、私がすべき。それに私はさあ、旅人。
She got us good with that one. She got us really good with that one. Alright, so now we can do the next part of the mission. Qingxi Village. Close by, close by. I'm pretty sure that this is not the only part of the mission that we're gonna have to do. If I remember correctly, there was another one. The Great Gathering that we also had. Oh man, there's a lot of missions we have to do.
心配せずとも警察層に
ええ、私
もう行動を起こすのかい？
一緒に
旅人パイモン、ちょうどいい時に来てくれたわね。ここ最近いろいろと捜査をしてその手がかりをたどっていくことで逃げるというより油断していたようね。そこには花火が大量にあったわ。警察層に駐在していた洗顔軍に
軍に知らせたんな
砲塔団はいつも狡猾よ。遊撃隊
もしかしてお前
そんな無謀な。でも今は君たち
おいおい本気かよ。
She really is a bit too hardworking for her own good. Wait, they thought that was well hidden?
確認するために戻ってきたようね。二人とも隠れて。
お頭、何言ってんだ。しかしお頭、だったら光らなくてもいい。俺たちの目標は全ての洗顔軍の注意を。わかりやした。しかしお頭、いやその点は心配すんな。解答祭ではいろんな催しがある。洗顔軍は今頃急ぐ。
Not a bad plan. I'll give them credit for it. They're gonna get screwed.
どうした？情報が漏れたみたい。仲間が花火に火をつけて。洗顔軍がどうした？今
どうやら私たちので
Alright, finally some fighting.
武器を捨てて両手を上げなさい。
邪魔をしやがって。今すぐこの刀で。何？お前は幽変国政。
私を見て止まるということは
Oh boy, this Genshin is so weak.
もう一度言うわ。
Alright, let's not take longer. Let's just actually do this.
まさかこんな人里離れたところで幽変に出くわすとは。
おとなしくしていればいいものを。
幽変の手です。
じゃあ私の質問。
俺たちは
正直に言え。
この花火を俺たちは城内へ。花火は強い光を放ちだが
そうな。
そうだ。もともとはおかしいと思ったんだ。いやとにかくまさか
さっきお前たち。
そうだ。なぜか奴らはこっそりと見張。
今もう
どうやら洗顔軍は以前この近くにも砲塔団の旅人。この砲塔団、私はもう少し調べてから君も。
Alright, that ended up let's just teleport, shall we? That ended fairly easily.
安心してください。もう
ああ、その通り。おや、旅人。後ろにいる二人は。
敵陣に深く入り込むのは。
そう言うな。旅人の実力。
そうだぞ。
つまり桔梗。
落ち着いてください。とにかく。
国政は他にも法と。
そうだったんですね。さすが聞いたところ、逃亡していたこちらの宝刀団の方は私たちに。
これで事件は解決したようだ。
もう費用紹介に戻るのか。
祭り期間中はやるべきことがたくさん。
まだ手伝わないといけない。
友としてそれくらい当然じゃないか。まさに
Yeah, that's a way of doing it, I guess.
焚き火の火は高くなるだ。この言葉と同じように。
30k health? Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
口のうまいやつが。
まあ、では。
So in order for her to reach 30k health, she needs to have HP percent artifacts. I don't think you can get that just with substats. That's not a good build. I'm really hopeful that we're gonna get some kind of buff to Kaching at some point in the future. I do think that her character does have a lot of potential when it comes to the kit. It's just the numbers are not there yet. The scaling is a bit on the weaker side, if I'm being honest. Her charge attack scaling is amazing. Her elemental skill just has too long of a cooldown for it to be worth it, even though it does have a decent scaling to where it could be useful. There's just like one or two things that if they were a bit higher, Giching would definitely be a significantly better character. I do know that somewhere in the line I have a project that was fixing Genshin's characters, and Giching was one of those characters. My proposal for this one was actually to reduce the cooldown of the elemental skill and make it something like 3 seconds. If it was a 3-second elemental skill, you would be able to spam it, and she would essentially be a elemental skill DPS, which would be very, very good for her because she would be able to elemental skill, teleport, charge attack, elemental skill, and just keep on going in that way. At which point she would actually have a fairly decent amount of burst damage, and she wouldn't be that restrained by anything else because even if she pushes enemies away, she could just teleport back to them after a short amount of time. I feel like that would be a really good way of really portraying how fast Kaching is as a character, while also buffing the damage that she does. She's not that far behind of other DPSs, but for a 5-star character, it is pretty underwhelming. So I am hopeful that they will give her a little bit of a buff.
そしたらうっかり導火線に火をつけちゃって。じゃあ敵はいないの。ごめんなさい。君と。やったー。これであんなに綺麗な花火があいつらのせいで無駄になっちゃってたら、オイラたちの楽しみも一つ。
On Ayaka or Ganyu for cryo pliers on superconduct. Oh no, I wouldn't make it as part of the constellation. I would just make it as part of the base kit. I hate constellation buffs. That is like the one thing that I do not agree with. If you're gonna buff the character, buff the base kit. Constellations should be an additive thing. They should not be a game-changing something that changes the way the character plays. If you have a constellation that inherently changes the way that a character plays, that is a horrible constellation. It should not be in the game like that. It should just be a part of the base kit. So for something like this, it would have to be part of the base kit. I would not do it otherwise. If I were to be honest, I think the most logical change would probably be a CD reduction to 4 seconds, at which point Thundering Fury would have to become like a mandatory thing, and it would keep more in line with how she's played at the moment, where she's able to trigger multiple elemental reactions, mainly Electric Charge, for example. That's like one of the better versions of Kaching. Either that one or the physical version that triggers Superconduct. So either one of those would probably work out alright. When it comes to the question of whether Ayaka or Ganyu The best one for Melt is probably Ayaka. Ayaka is more consistent since she doesn't rely on pretty much anything, and she's always readily available with the dash, unlike Ganyu, who has to rely on her abilities or her charge attack, which takes 2 whole seconds to charge. If we're just talking about efficiency, Ayaka also has the Constellation 4, which reduces an enemy's defense. So if we were talking about maximum efficiency, Ayaka would probably be the best one for Melt in particular, if you're looking for the biggest number to one-shot someone. Ganyu is more flexible though, which is likely why she can be used a bit more. Ganyu herself though has such an insanely high scaling that oftentimes she is the better one for Melt, just because she can take advantage of Melt, not giving Melt to other characters. It's kind of a weird balance of where you want to go for it. If we're talking about support, C4 Ayaka definitely wins. If we're talking about damage, Ganyu takes more advantage of it. Mainly because Bennett is capable of allowing her to melt both of her arrows. That's like the big thing for Ganyu Melt. Yeah, just thinking about her E ability with the reduced cooldown, it would be so much more fun. It would be so much more entertaining. It would make the character a lot better. It would really put a shine on her relatively okay scaling, because it's not insane. You're not going to be getting that much of a proper damage increase. It's just going to push her over a lot of the 4-star characters that we already have available. It'll make her a lot more fluid. It'll make her a lot more reliable. It just makes the character better without pushing her to the extremes. You don't have a case like Raiden where you just give her an attack buff, a damage bonus buff, a scaling buff. You're not over buffing a character, you're just increasing the fluidity, and that by itself is already enough of a point where she will likely compete with other characters. If not on gameplay style, even just the damage bonus. Being able to cast an additional lightning stiletto would definitely increase her DPS by a decent amount. Another additional part of that would be energy generation. That would be really beneficial as well. So she could become a bit of a hybrid of kind of like an energy generating DPS, which is something that we already have. But one that was Electro would definitely be really beneficial. She would be able to pair really, really well with Bido, which is already a character she pairs well with. And it would just give her a lot more flexibility. It would give her a lot more utility. It would give her a lot more. It would make the character better without overbuffing it. It's not an insane change, but it's one that feels right, which is why I personally like that one. And that's my proposal for it, which I'm eventually going to make into a video, even if a lot of people don't watch it. I have something similar for Lisa as well. That one is a bit more involved though. Alrighty, so it looks like we're getting to the end of the first storyline. We still have quite a lot of things to do, so it's not like we're running out of content. Once we're done with this quest, we'll try to figure out the little puzzles for the rocket crafting. Hey, Union is here. C6 Klee, I don't remember what C6 Klee does. I know that C2 is already very, very strong because of defense reduction. C4 allows her to use her burst as a damaging tool, which is okay. It's not the craziest scaling in the world. We've definitely seen a lot more higher, and I personally like the energy generation a bit more. And I don't remember what C6 does though. Oh, 10% fire damage bonus. That's not bad. Do you have any ideas on fixing electro resonance? Do you think it would be better if it worked like the Favonia's weapons and just gave neutral energy instead of electro energy? That would definitely be one way of going about it, but I don't think that would be enough to fix it. I think the electro resonance has a bit of a design failure, mainly because of the way that it works. The energy generation is a really good concept, and that's a lot of the things that electro is supposed to be good at. But let's think about the characters that are actually electro. There's only like one that cares about energy generation, and that's Bido. Bido is the only character that has a problem with energy generation. Everybody else has a way of mitigating that